Good Saturday morning and welcome to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Executive Randy Porter, the show that's talking about all the great things happening in Putnam County. Hope you're in the Christmas spirit and enjoying your Saturday morning. We've got a great show today for you. My special guests are Baxter Mayor John Martin and County Commission Chairman Ben Rodgers. Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Today's show is all about the new announcement that we made a couple of weeks ago with the new historical $150 million business coming to Baxter and Putnam County that we call Project SIM, which, guys, is the largest in Putnam County history. A new company called Portobello. And just so we give our listeners a little background on the company, they're a Brazilian luxury tile manufacturer. They are the largest in Brazil and its surrounding countries. They have over 2,600 employees in their current locations, and they're coming to Baxter and Putnam County. Exciting, Mayor Martin?
It's very exciting. It's like we said, I think you mentioned during our announcement at the winery, Baxter needs a spark. This is a spark for Baxter. Something that I never imagined would ever happen to Baxter. But there's a lot of things that this company's bringing to Baxter. We're really looking forward to them coming.
To get a $150 million project into a county is amazing on its own. Those are very few and far between. To get one in a small city like Baxter, when you ran for office a few years ago, did you ever dream that you'd be seeing a project this big coming to Baxter?
No, I didn't. But this was a vision. This was something that, it's the only reason I ran. I felt like that Baxter needed more for our children and grandchildren. I never imagined this would happen, but there's so many things that we're already doing in Baxter. The growth is already starting, but it's unbelievable what this company is going to do for our community.
It's going to be unbelievable. Ben, your day-to-day job as a CTAS consultant, before we get too far, explain to our listeners what CTAS is and what you do for governments on a day-to-day basis.
CTAS is the County Technical Assistance Service under the University of Tennessee's Institute of Public Service, and I represent or work with 13 counties in the Commonwealth. So I do all things accounting, budgeting, personnel, policy, legal, with all my county officials. So I roughly work with 300 officials, county commissioners. So we hope to see things like this happen, but we don't in Upper Cumberland. This is something rare, and it's coming to Baxter. I think it's amazing.
So you represent 20 counties?
13.
13 counties on a day-to-day basis, helping those counties with everything from helping them with their budgets, with different issues that may come up in county government, with all the elected officials and all the departments. And statewide, when it comes to CTAS, what do you think it means to a county our size to be able to get a project that's like this, $150 million?
Oh, it's huge, and I've had several, I hadn't had anybody from outside of Cumberland yet, but I've had several county mayors, and maybe you have too, call me and say, this is great for our county. Mayor up north of us said this is going to help all of us. And the good thing about the Upper Cumberland in our area is these county mayors and commissions are not selfish. So if one good thing happens for a county near them, they're happy because they know they can benefit. I do have one that's fairly new, says, hey, send some love our way. And I said, you're going to benefit from this.
From around
exactly
the whole region. Mayor Martin, we talk about this all the time, how that whatever happens in Putnam County, Baxter, Cookeville, inside of Putnam County, helps the whole region. How do you think that this project here coming to Baxter, don't you see it helping surrounding counties like Jackson and DeKalb as far as having workers come in from those areas to this country?
It does, Randy. It's good for everyone. And like you said, as far as the team for Putnam County, yourself, Senator Bailey, Representative Ron Williams, the Chamber, Stephen Crook, Melinda Kiefer. There's so many people that's put this thing together, and I want to thank Mayor Shelton,
George
Mike Davison. There's so many that's involved in this, and we've got a wonderful team in Putnam County.
And that's something I want to talk about a little bit too, is the team that's been put together. We get projects all the time that are coming to Putnam County to look. Never know and sometimes it may be a year or 2 years before we actually find out for sure if that project is coming here or not. But there's so much work that goes on in the background that has to be done to work with these companies with utilities and infrastructure and roads and employees and all the things that has to happen. And tell me if you think I'm wrong. I think we have put together one of the best teams that we could possibly have, and we have something in our county that Chairman Rodgers, do you see in other counties the great relationship that we have working here?
No, and we at CTAS offer guidance into working together, and some are doing well, but there's nothing like Putnam County and the cities in Putnam County. That's the communication is the biggest part. Being unselfish with each other and sharing the credit is the next part, and so transparency obviously between all bodies, ID board, mayors, Chamber of Commerce. It doesn't happen like it does in Putnam County elsewhere.
I'm talking to Mayor John Martin of Baxter, County Commission Chairman Ben Rodgers. We're discussing the new Project SIM, which is now known as Portobello, new luxury tile company coming into Putnam County. The location for our listeners, John, is on some property that's been sitting vacant down in Baxter for some time. Can you tell us about that?
Right, it's the old racetrack, and there's, I think, 53 acres that's going to go with this. I think it's around 96 acres total. It's on Diddy Road, and there's going to be a lot of work. And people says, well, how are we going to get there on Diddy Road? Well, we're working with the state, and hopefully there'll be a new road that will go from Baxter Road to the new project. And of course, we're, like Randy says, we're in so many meetings now trying to finalize a lot of things as far as sewers, water, and there's a lot of work to be done. But we had a corridor study the other day concerning that area. So it was a very good meeting. There's been TDOT people in Baxter already. It's looking at this problem.
Well, traffic is an issue at the Baxter exit, which has been addressing for some time. As most folks may or may not know, that being a state road, interstate, it's all involves TDOT, and been looking at trying to get a turning lane under the interstate and some different intersection changes to Diddy Road on how it comes out onto Baxter. And as we go forward with this project, that's going to be a big part of this company coming in, is TDOT doing some major changes to that area, realigning Diddy Road, running under the interstate with a new turn lane, maybe some exit improvements at the exit to try to help some of that traffic. Am I right?
Right, yes, sir. Talked to Senator Bailey. He called me. He couldn't make the announcement. He had a vote that he had to be
At the legislature.
He had to be there, but he did assure me that he is already working on ramps to improve the ramps and all. So there's a lot of things that's going to have to happen there.
That's great. You're listening to Today in Putnam County on News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub. I'm Randy Porter, your host. We're talking with Baxter Mayor John Martin and Commission Chairman Ben Rodgers this morning on our new $150 million project, Portobello. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Executive Randy Porter, the show that's talking about all the great things happening in Putnam County. Hope you're having a great Saturday morning. My guests this morning are Baxter Mayor John Martin and County Commission Chairman Ben Rodgers. We've been talking about the new luxury tile company, Portobello, that's coming to Baxter and Putnam County, and it's also a historic project of about $150 million. John, we talked about the location of being over off of Diddy Road. The old racetrack property is what most people probably known it in the past. Let's talk a bit about the utilities and all the different things that have to go into this project to make it happen. Baxter has to provide a lot of water, new sewer lines and so forth. Is that going to be a problem for Baxter? It's going to be difficult being a small city to be able to produce those kind of
Not really.
utilities.
We've got an 8-inch line coming off of a 12-inch line, coming off a 36-inch line that can supply all the water that this company needs. The company, one of the requirements they had at full production would be 4 million gallons a month.
4 million gallons of water per month.
And we can provide that. The sewer, there'll be a new sewer line ran from Baxter Road to the plant. We're working with the state on that now. We had a meeting last night. We're trying to finalize a lot of that stuff. We're in the process of that, but we can provide what they need. We're getting, as far as our sewer plant, a lot of people say, well, what are you doing about your sewer plant? Well, we're getting ready. We've been talking for probably 6 months on a sewer expansion. We'll probably spend $2.4 million on that. We're getting ready. We want everyone to know we're open for business.
When it comes to providing 4 million gallons of water a month, it sounds like a lot. Most people may not know that you get your water from Cookville,
Yes.
which pumps it out of Center Hill Lake, so an endless supply of water. One of the things I found interesting about this company is in the manufacturing process of this luxury tile, only about 3% of the water that you're providing is going to come back into the sewer system, from what I understand. So that water is all kept on site and evaporates in the process. So the taxation on your sewer system is not going to be anywhere near what it would be with a typical company.
That's
correct?
correct. Yes, sir.
So then we look at Middle Tennessee Natural Gas. I was amazed at the natural gas numbers having to be received by this company. About $7 million worth of natural gas a year is the figure that I put together, which is huge for our area, for our utilities, and a company like Middle Tennessee Natural Gas. They seem willing and able to provide that amount of gas. Is that correct?
That's correct. They're had a meeting with them. They couldn't make the meeting last night. They had a pre arrangement, but they can provide whatever this company needs, and they're going to start doing some relocation of some lines to make sure that everything
is working.
Yes.
Also electric, Ben. I think you have family that works at Upper Cumberland Electric, so you've got a history with the facility providing the electricity to this company. There may have to be some substation upgrades or maybe a new substation or something. This project is in your district, though, that you represent as a county commissioner. What does that mean to the district and to you as a commissioner to have this size project come?
It means a lot. If you'd have told me 4 years ago when I ran and was elected county commissioner that a $150 million project was coming to Baxter, I would have said I hope so, but probably not. Reality would not have been reality to me at that time. This size company wants to locate in our small town, and part of that is because we are a small town. We have great leadership with the mayor and aldermen. We have some good commissioners surrounding us. We've got a great county executive, and when they see how our people work, they see how our community comes together at sporting events, Friday nights, Tuesday nights for basketball, Friday nights for basketball, baseball. We see how our schools are rated at the top in scores. We have great administration. That just solidifies what we've been working for. And that makes me as a commissioner and a citizen, most importantly, feel proud of our community because we have great people there and they deserve this.
It's amazing to me when we see the companies that are looking to come to Putnam County. You look where they're from. We're talking about international companies coming in. Colorobia, which is in the tile business, not manufacturing tile, but creating the finishes for tile, is building a new facility in our business park, which is going to complement Portobello that's coming in. And you see all these companies from all around the world looking at Putnam County. But it really hit home to me the other day when we were making the announcement with the Portobello CEO, and I asked him, what made you look so strong at Putnam County and at Tennessee? And come to find out, the town that they are from, where their corporate headquarters are in Brazil, is 27,000 population. You know, Cookville's 35 or 40,000, so they saw the hometown. This is like coming home to them. And I thought it was very interesting that while they were here, they come in early, they're looking around. Where do they go? They go to the TSSAA football playoffs that we had just recently. They don't understand the game of football really well, but they loved how the community came together to put that playoff together. And they look at us as a great community to come and live in, work in, and raise their families. To me, that means a lot. I know Baxter's a small community, but so is Putnam County too. The one thing that that I hear people worry about is are we going to lose our small community feel? What do you think, John?
No. Everyone's got to understand, you know, when I ran, they said, do not destroy Baxter. I'm not out to destroy Baxter. You know, we're still going to have our small town atmosphere, but everyone's got to realize that people go where traffic's at. Baxter's going to be south and it's going to be north. We have plans for our downtown. We're going to make our downtown a show place. We can have specialty shops and all. We're getting ready. They're in the process now of building a event center in Baxter, which is going to draw even more people into our downtown. They're going to spend a lot of money on it. They can accommodate 500 to 700 people in this facility. So it's really going to be good for Baxter.
Some people don't realize how much work goes into making a project like this happen. I've always heard you don't want to see how laws are made, you know, or how sausage is made. This is kind of fits into that category. You know firsthand now what the process goes through. We've been working on this for 18 months. The ups and downs of a project like this, one day you're high because you think it's coming, the next day you're low because you think they're looking somewhere else. With this project, a year and a half, we worked on it. 1 week, we thought we were losing the project and it was going somewhere else in Tennessee. The very first part of the next week, we find out we've been chosen for it to come to Putnam County. You were involved with me and Commissioner Rodgers and all these folks are working together to try to make this happen. Those last 2 or 3 weeks were very stressful to make this happen. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I've really never been involved in anything like this. It's unbelievable what it takes to make things come together. It's just like we said, if we didn't have the team that we had, it would not have come together. You know, and it just makes me feel so good. You know, God's looking down on Baxter, and that's just the way I feel about it.
We're blessed in this county. We really are. We're talking to Baxter Mayor John Martin and County Commission Chairman Ben Rodgers this morning about the new $150 million project coming to Baxter, Portobello. It's a luxury tile company. And you're listening to Today in Putnam County on News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub. We got much more. I'm Randy Porter, your host. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Executive Randy Porter. My guests today are Baxter Mayor John Martin and County Commission Chairman Ben Rodgers. We've been talking about the new luxury tile company, Portobello, that's coming to Baxter in Putnam County. Just as a little bit of a summary, $150 million project, 230 new jobs, going to be built on the old racetrack property there on Diddy Road. They are not only bringing the manufacturing process in, they are bringing the distribution process and their corporate headquarters to this same location. That's a huge deal to get all three in one project, John. I don't know if we have saw that in other projects that have come to Putnam County. This might be one of the first.
Well, it's something that, like you say, I've never imagined having the manufacturing and distribution in the headquarters in Baxter. I mean, that's huge. Just never imagined.
So, and we're talking not just manufacturing jobs, we're talking about those CEO, CFO type jobs that will be high wages that will go along with the other jobs. Let's talk a little bit in the final few minutes that we've got about all the other things that are going on in Baxter. Since you've been mayor, it's kind of exploded in Baxter with some great projects. Are there some other projects that you've got in the pipeline or things that are coming up that you can talk about this morning?
We're finalizing a subdivision. It's going to be on 61 acres. Their plans are to build 124 houses on it. That's big for Baxter. One thing that they required was they wanted to be incorporated in city limits too, and we've got to incorporate or finalize that. And once that's done, they'll be ready to go. The Titan project, I want to mention it just for a second. That's on the radar now, and we're getting ready to go in meetings with Titan Development and work out as far as the sewer and whatever the infrastructure they need out there. So that's really a big project also. Of course, we've got a T-Mart coming. It's just about ready to open. It's going to have Papa John's and a chicken place. And Napa has already been, it's built. They're just waiting to finish up. They'll be ready to open. Fiesta Cancun is meeting with builders now. I had a meeting with them last week along with the builder. They're ready to come, but it takes a lot of work now to finalize the sewer in that area, and we're working very hard ordering pumps and everything we need in that area.
That is absolutely amazing to talk about all of those projects coming to Baxter. Of course, I've lived in Putnam County a long time. Ben, I know you're born and raised here. John, I'm not sure about you, but to have all those projects coming in Baxter, there was a day that I can remember, and not too many years ago, when there were people saying that Baxter was not going to survive. Today it's flourishing with all these great projects happening, all these great things coming to Baxter. Ben, something that people may not know, your uncle was Billy Rodgers, who was a county commissioner for years and years and years and years. Great guy, led this county tremendously back then. Do you think Billy could have ever imagined that Baxter would grow like it is, or if Putnam County would be seeing the things that we're seeing today?
Billy had a great vision. I'm not sure he would imagine a $150 million project before 2050. But I think his vision started when he encouraged the commission to fund the new high school. Because I think what he was in his mind is, if we can give our teachers and our students a better place to be educated and get education, we can then grow our workforce. And then people will notice our scores at our high schools and our elementary schools, and our kids coming out there, they're ready to work. You know, they'll go to college and be better educated, get higher education. I think that was the start of his vision. So that school was built in 2002, and luckily he got to see it being built. And I think his vision started there, but a $150 million project, he would be very proud, I can tell you that.
It'd be hard for him to imagine. I think anyone to imagine that we would have progressed as much as we have over the last several years, especially toward the western end of the county. We kind of all saw that coming to some extent once the new Fifth Interchange opened and we got Academy Sports. But for it to happen so fast, we all were talking about everything is moving towards Baxter. I just don't think any of us could imagine that it would happen so fast. Do y'all agree?
Yes, not this quick.
It's just been unbelievable. We've been talking this morning to Baxter Mayor John Martin and County Commission Chairman Ben Rodgers. Guys, I want to say to both of y'all, you're both great to work with, and I want to thank you for your leadership that you're providing to not only to Baxter, John, Ben, to the county. It makes all the difference in the world for us to have a team to where we all get along, we all work together. Putnam County's been very blessed for that to happen, and I think you feel like I do, that we all cherish that. We know it's not this way everywhere, but we have something that we need to be very thankful for, and I thank you for your part that you play. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.